For years, Marvel Comics has introduced some of the most powerful characters ever conceived, beings who can reshape reality, bend time, and even obliterate entire universes with a mere thought. Two of these godlike figures stand out in particular, the Beyonder and Darkhold Omega Scarlet Witch. Both have achieved near omnipotent status in their respective storylines, but if they ever clashed, who would emerge victorious? To answer this, we must delve deep into their origins, abilities, and potential limits. The ultimate cosmic entity. Who is the Beyonder? The Beyonder first appeared in Secret Wars 1984, and from the moment he was introduced, he was unlike anything Marvel had ever seen. A being from beyond the multiverse, he was neither a celestial nor an eternal, nor was he bound by any of the cosmic hierarchies that governed Marvel's vast landscape. Instead, he was part of an incomprehensibly powerful race called the Beyonders, entities who existed outside the known multiverse. Unlike even the strongest Marvel gods, the Beyonder had no real weaknesses. He could manipulate reality on an unprecedented scale, create and destroy entire universes effortlessly, and was not bound by time, space, or dimensional constraints. In Secret Wars, he transported the greatest heroes and villains of Earth to a fabricated battle world just to watch them fight. But this was only a fraction of what he could do. At his peak, the Beyonder was described as being stronger than the entire Marvel multiverse combined. He saw himself as beyond even the living tribunal, eternity, and other cosmic entities. But over time, Marvel revised his powers, sometimes making him less omnipotent. Even so, in his strongest form, the Beyonder remained an absolute force of nature, one who could will anything into existence and obliterate anything out of it. His weaknesses? Emotion? Despite being a godlike being, the Beyonder was fascinated by humanity and at times let emotions like curiosity, anger, or even loneliness cloud his judgment. But was that enough of a flaw for someone to defeat him? The Darkhold Omega Scarlet Witch's most powerful form. Scarlet Witch, aka Wanda Maximoff, has always been one of the most dangerous forces in Marvel Comics. Born with chaos magic and later identified as a Nexus being, she had the ability to manipulate probability, bend reality, and rewrite the very fabric of existence. But it wasn't until she fully embraced the Darkhold's power in Darkhold Omega that she reached her most terrifying form. The Darkhold, written by the elder god Chthon, was a grimoire of unimaginable dark magic. Chthon was a primordial being, older than most of Marvel's cosmic deities, and his influence stretched across realities. By fully absorbing the Darkhold into herself, Wanda not only freed herself from its influence, but also consumed all of its knowledge, making her potentially the strongest magical entity ever. With this power boost, Scarlet Witch easily banished Chthon, who was considered a god of chaos and magic. This is the same Chthon who once fought and threatened the likes of Doctor Strange, the Avengers, and other powerful beings. Wanda then confronted Doctor Doom and obliterated his Doombot with sheer magical force. Most terrifyingly, she declared that she was finally free, implying that even the mystical forces that had once bound her no longer had control over her. As a Nexus being, Wanda was already immortal and tied to the fate of all realities. Now, as the Darkhold Omega, her power seemed to have reached a level where she could manipulate the multiverse at will. But could she stand against the Beyonder, whose power was not magic-based but rather cosmic in nature? Power comparison, magic versus omnipotence. Now that we've analyzed both combatants, it's time to compare their abilities head-to-head. Both the Beyonder and Scarlet Witch possess the ability to manipulate reality, but the scale of their influence sets them apart. Wanda reshaped the entire universe during House of M, erasing almost all mutant genes in an instant, but the Beyonder has created entire universes from nothing with seemingly no effort. His power extends beyond time, space, and even the fundamental laws of existence. Energy projection is another key factor in their power comparison. While Wanda's magical blasts have devastated powerful beings, the Beyonder has wiped out entire cosmic entities with mere thoughts. His abilities do not rely on traditional energy-based attacks, but rather on sheer willpower, allowing him to erase, transform, or control anything instantly. When it comes to immortality, Scarlet Witch, as a Nexus being, exists beyond the normal flow of time, and cannot truly die in the conventional sense. However, the Beyonder is not bound by life or death at all. He exists outside of the multiversal hierarchy, making his very nature incomprehensible. His connection to the greater Beyonder race gives him an added layer of existence that is not tied to the physical or metaphysical constraints that most beings, including Scarlet Witch, must obey. Multiversal influence is another defining aspect of this battle. Wanda's actions have affected the multiverse on numerous occasions, but the Beyonder has manipulated it on a grander scale. He has controlled entire dimensions, rewritten universal laws, and toyed with beings like the Celestials and Galactus with no struggle. His power surpasses even the most powerful magical and cosmic forces, making him one of the few beings who can reshape existence itself on a whim. Despite their immeasurable power, both combatants have weaknesses. The Beyonder's primary flaw is his emotional instability. He has been shown to act irrationally when influenced by human emotions like curiosity, loneliness, or frustration. This vulnerability has made him susceptible to psychological manipulation in the past. On the other hand, Scarlet Witch has shown significant mental instability, which has led to catastrophic consequences. Her emotions have often dictated her actions, sometimes leading to unpredictable outbursts of reality-warping power. While her control has improved as Darkhold Omega, any loss of focus in a battle against an omnipotent being could be disastrous. The battle multiversal destruction unleashed. If these two ever fought, the battle would likely be one of the most destructive in Marvel history. Unlike a physical fight where fists and energy blasts are exchanged, this would be a war of absolute willpower and cosmic forces colliding. The first strike would likely come from Scarlet Witch, who, using her chaos magic, would attempt to warp reality around the Beyonder. However, given his resistance to even the most powerful reality warping, it's unlikely that this would have any lasting effect. The Beyonder, realizing her potential as a threat, might retaliate by simply willing her out of existence. But here's where things get interesting. As the Darkhold Omega, Wanda absorbed a primordial force of chaos and darkness. Would that be enough to counteract the Beyonder's cosmic will? Possibly. The Darkhold is a book of forbidden knowledge, and with it, Scarlet Witch might find a way to exploit the Beyonder's only known weakness, his emotional naivety. If she were able to manipulate his thoughts, make him doubt himself, or even trick him into making a mistake, she could potentially find a way to banish him. However, this is highly unlikely, given that the Beyonder has resisted manipulation from far greater forces. The battle could rage across dimensions, with reality itself fracturing under their power. Planets would be destroyed, entire universes would collapse, and even Marvel's strongest cosmic entities might struggle to intervene. Conclusion, the final verdict. While Scarlet Witch's Darkhold Omega form is undoubtedly one of the most powerful magical forces in Marvel, she would still struggle against the sheer omnipotence of the Beyonder. Magic, even at its highest level, is still a system within the multiverse, whereas the Beyonder exists beyond all known limitations. That said, Scarlet Witch could challenge the Beyonder in ways few others could. If she had time to prepare and strategize, she might find a way to contain or neutralize him temporarily. But in a straight battle with no outside interference, the Beyonder's sheer dominance over reality would be too much for her to overcome. Ultimately, the Beyonder takes the win in this matchup. However, given Scarlet Witch's history of unpredictability and power surges, she remains one of the few Marvel characters who could at least pose a significant threat to him, if not defeat him, under the right circumstances. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.